my GPS on the car, so hopefully it doesn't fuck up my fucking shit. Video. This. Anyways, what's going on? So I do the microcosmic orbit pretty religiously. I'm just gonna get into it. I'm not gonna fucking fuck around and talk shit, a bunch of shit. Just tell you what's going on with my life and all that. Like, who the fuck cares?
You okay?
But so I do the microcosmic orbit pretty religiously, and I had it on a playlist. With a few other, two other hypnosis. One was, I don't know, I forget what they were exactly, connecting to something or moving something. Don't really know. Don't really matter. But, so I gotta get over the next lane. But, my fucking drugs are going off. But, yeah, so I go there the one day, and both videos are set to private, or not by me, by whoever, I guess, created it. Either Meditative Mind or one of those other, is this one? Yeah, it's this one. Or one of those other fucking things that make shit like that. Like, hypnosis and all that. But anyways, so when I first started doing the microcosmic orbit after Qigong and Kunji. At Qigong and Kunji, and I started doing the microcosmic orbit, but I had a hard time, not a hard time per se, but like, I don't know, it was complicated enough whenever, because I was doing ceremonial magic, and I was doing, okay, so wifey cut me off because I called her, and then she called me back. But anyways, where the fuck was I? Doesn't matter. So this, so you can hear me better. I was saying something to the effect of the microcosmic orbit religiously. But when I first read Qigong and Kunjian, and I wanted to start doing the microcosmic orbit, using my lower Dana and Xian, and eventually using my the upper one, and everything else that comes along with this great energy practice, the reason, and just, I'm pretty sure most people who've watched me for any length of time, well, the ones that watched me from the beginning maybe, know that I wanted to do the microcosmic orbit because I was at the point in ceremonial magic where I was ready to create thought forms, servitors. And after watching High Percentage Magic, he said you can use the middle pillar to conjure up enough energy to create a thought form. He's like, but in his experience, the best way is to use the microcosmic orbit. And I've used many different things I've learned from him, and he hadn't let me down. Yet, so I decided to do that. Now, I know Frater Xavier does it his way, and I actually have to program thought forms and servitors or thought forms and whatever it is from him, just to make sure, not that I ever needed it, but I went on a little frenzy, to be honest, whenever I bought the first program from Frater, and I heard how similar the things me and him were doing, which is slight differences, and then he actually gives like old but older spells, I guess, and rituals and different things for manifesting money and other manifestations that you need, and to banish different things. And those things alone, when I did them, were worth the money of the program. Different things from the magical checkbook, the soap ritual, like the way he uses blood in ritual versus the way I do it, but the same concept, and it works just as much, it's basically the same. But anyways, all that's to say is the reason I wanted to learn the microcosmic orbit was not only, I had that book, and that book was amazing, but I don't know if I had that first or I got that when I wanted to figure out how to do the microcosmic orbit, because listening to, I can't remember the guy's name, but you put microcosmic orbit in, he's one of those Chinese guys sitting down, his older videos, he's really good to listen to, and he knows his shit. He's the one, I think, who wrote those books I'm talking about, plus many other occult Taoist, I'd say, but I'm not positive, books. sex books, not necessarily about sex itself, but how to use sexual energy properly. Anyways, all that's to say is the microcosmic orbit, when I found this meditation, this visualization going along with when you visualize, it really helped. It really helped me to have a guideline instead of just reading the book and trying to visualize it on my own. Going to the words and it kind of like moving through it. And like I said, this is one of those meditations that I follow along with meditations online. Many times, and I know the difference after learning about NLP and hypnosis and a little bit of, I wouldn't say manipulation, not manipulate people, but the art of persuasion, let's just say, that, you know, if you want to do successful kind of hypnosis, even on yourself, which is what I do a lot of, you gotta, or on other people, you gotta allow their mind to come up with the details yourself, so it's personalized to them. You just guide them. And I've said this many times, and that was important for me on this, because it was very clear that it would tell you how to visualize in a manner of speaking, like what you're supposed to see, but then from there it would tell you exactly like this color, this direction, and left that up to you, so that the minute you start visualizing, whenever you got to the point where you really started seeing it, it did. If your visualization was different from what it was saying, it would fuck you up. You know what I mean? So it was one of those really good ones. Anyways, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe more, that I realized they were all taken off my fucking off my playlist, and I can't find it anywhere on YouTube anymore. So I'm a little pissed off about that. Now, that being said, I have a little voice recorder that I use for my self-hypnosis and reprogramming my mind. Like honestly, that's what I do. It's a little recorder that, you know, I can plug a mic into it, plug headphones into it. It holds a ton of data, and I can play on repeat. So when I wanted to self-hypnotize myself with my own voice, when I started doing rituals and visualizing in my head, before I learned the ritual by heart, I would literally record myself doing the whole ritual on that, like that close by, this way not to have my phone in my temple. And it would literally, I would put that on at night, and I would start doing the ritual in my head, going along to me actually doing the ritual, like, in audio real time, I guess would be a way to say it. Fucked up way to say it. So, it helped me for many things. So, I had the same process. So, I ended up one day recording the microcosmic orbit playing on there with me saying some self-hypnosis, maybe even affirmations, repeating specific things I wanted to manifest, which had manifested. So I had that version of it, but it's me talking over it, you know what I mean? So I couldn't really separate it. But then I remembered, like, no, man, I made an episode not that long ago about me playing the microcosmic orbit. So it took me a while to find it. I think it was in the title, but it was Peterson was also in there. Anyway, so I ended up finding it, and I ended up recording it. And I recorded, it's me playing it out loud, so you don't have the background music, but you have the clear instructions in it. But I also put a part before that to explain why, how, and what the microcosmic orbit does, the points of the tongue, what happens prior, what happens prior to the energy, because what happens is it comes up from the back channel, right? So let's say, assume it starts from your feet or your root, right? It comes up through the back, goes inside your mouth, comes down, comes back out your mouth, and then finishes it in this weird kind of yin-yang symbol, right? And it never completes the full circuit. And we know we're electrical. That's what I've been going on about, emotions, but we have electricity running through our body, we have to have a high pH in your body. So what happens here is when you connect that, you end up connecting the whole fucking circuit, the whole fucking circle, which promotes healing. The guy says it helps your organs get the electricity they need, you know, first part of the video. After this part, it's going to be that guy explaining it with a diagram and saying exactly what all the, I think it's 14 energy centers are, what meridians are attached to, like the ones in the back, right? You have the perineum, which is the bottom one, which would be the root. Then you have the sexual center, which is, you know, that sexual chakra, if you will. Then it's the danantion. And then from there, it goes up to, I think it's, well, I forget which vertebrae it is, T7 maybe, then T5, and then C3, which is your anyways. And then it goes to the crown, that's the third eye, then your tongue is to the neck, energy goes there, then it goes to the throat, then it goes to your heart, then it goes to the solar plexus, and back to the danantion. So, all that. So you're going to see this part first, obviously, and after me, it's going to be that dude explaining all that. Then it's going to be the microcosmic orbit. So once the microcosmic orbit thing plays, somewhere around the 13-minute mark is normally what I fast forward it to, because that's where it starts talking about the danantion and visualization you need. The rest of the stuff before that's just to get you into hypnosis. Alright, so right before I get to playing microcosmic orbit, or the man explaining it first before the actual playing it, like I said, it's not going to be at the 13-minute mark, but 13 minutes after it starts is roughly where you can start it. After, you know, if you have trouble getting into visualization and all that, I'd say listen from the beginning. But if you don't, if you can start visualizing your danantion, energy flowing through there, you can pick the color, you can pick the way it's turning, it doesn't matter. I generally, if I visualize and there's not something that automatically comes to my head, like let's say today, I'm doing it right now, it's white. But let's say I didn't have white energy there right now, I would just go with depending. Like, you want to be careful when you're doing red with Mars, because colors are powerful and you can evoke some pretty strong things with Mars energy. But generally that's my rule of thumb, except for maybe black and red for Saturn and Mars. But I'm going to put this into the same healing magic playlist as I've been putting all the healing magic stuff. And I mean, if you're doing a witchcraft, or you're doing ceremonial magic, I would say you can totally add this on. It's definitely a good add-on to have with your already practice. Now, I don't want you to start doing the microcosmic orbit and stop doing any curriculum that you're already doing. So if you have to choose between this and whatever you're already doing, keep doing whatever you're already doing. If you're not doing anything, start doing this. This is great energy work, and you're going to feel it. You're going to, you know, whether you're just okay and you're going to try this, or you're having a bad day, or you're in, you know, this takes me out of fight or flight, if I can tell a minute. This takes me out of bad moods. This takes me out of low energy. This takes me out of so many bad states once I'm done. And I put a circle up when I do it. Anytime you're doing anything with visualizing energy work, just to me, a rule of thumb, you know, put a protective circle around you, just in case, you know, you don't want things to happen. Now, if you're doing it fast, there's people around you and you're just trying to bang it out, but there's a good chance your kids are going to bug you, but you don't want to really step outside of the circle too often. So I mean, you don't have to, just what I do. I like to keep my spiritual practices, my energy practices all within the circle, my being, my aura, my field, my sphere. You know, it's not really that circle you put on the ground is not necessarily a circle. It's more like a globe. It's like a big sphere around you, and it protects you from any outside influences that could come in and fuck up what you're doing. But this is definitely a practice that can be used for healing your body. It's a way of using the energy that's already coming in. Now, just to elaborate a little bit on what this is about to explain to you anyways. The energy comes up your back from the bottom, and it comes in your mouth, goes down on the inside, comes back up, goes back around your body, and then it comes up the front, goes back inside, and then comes back up and comes back around. Okay, so that's what's happening until you do the microcosmic orbit. So you're never going right around in a nice circuit. Okay, you come up and around, it goes down, and then it goes back the same way it just came. And then it comes up the front, and then it comes down, and it goes back the way it came. You got like these two incoming energies that are never complete. You never hit all the meridians all at once. But by doing this,
by having your tongue to the roof of your mouth, connecting that circuit. And I'm telling you, you can feel a little bit of, it's not like a sap, like when you like a battery or anything like that, but it's a different kind of tingle. There's energy, there's electricity. There when you do that, what happens is it comes at the back, it comes around the front, and you can switch this if you want to, go the other way if you want, but you've got to do this way first if you're going to do that. But then you have this circuit, and it's simultaneously hitting all of these meridian points. Okay, that is thoracic, number 7, thoracic, number 5 vertebrae, and the cerebral vertebrae thing, or the ones in the back here. But it's all these important meridians. Some of them are acupuncture points, but some of them are also known as what people think are the chakras or whatever the case is. All that doesn't even matter. You visualize these, and it's like, what do I have to visualize in that? Whatever the fuck you want. There's no right or wrong answer here. You can look at a little swirling pool of vortex. You can make it look like the old version of Adam. You can make it look like a fucking happy face. It doesn't matter, okay? I tend to look at it like something like this, turning sideways, but, you know, more 3D than that, or going the opposite way, or going around like this. And, you know, how do I bring the energy up? Well, I just visualize it down at the lowest part, and then it spirals up to that next one, making a link. So, making a link. So it's linked now, and then it goes up to the next one, and they're always linked. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to do that. You can just look at it as a fucking straight line, and then once it's all connected, you visualize it always going. Like that's what I like about the recording, the audio recording, because it goes through it, and it does it so many times over and over and over again that it really helps input that programming into you, to the point now that I'm pretty positive that the microcosmic orbit happens for me regardless. This thing going around me regardless. The minute I put my tongue up there, I'm connected. I don't even have to. I still do visualization so that it's definitely embedded in me. And I've been doing this for at least, it's got to be at least 6 months since, like, I think it's even been before June, but June or July consecutively, every single day almost, up until these last 2 weeks, without the audio for me to go to bed to and all that. And like I said, sometimes I just put it on and I can go to sleep, but it's still being heard by the subconscious mind. It's still going in there, which is one of the best ways to do it. So if you don't want to do this consciously, to take up your time, put it on when you go to sleep for every night for 21 days. Don't stop doing it. But once again, if you have a practice already, do your practice energy. Middle pillar, there's nothing wrong with that. You can channel that energy. It's very similar, because after you get that energy in you, you're supposed to swirl it around your body, up and down, like where your pillars would be. About that. Yeah, so you're supposed to swirl that around like where the pillars would be, and you're seeing this come from the sky. Now I like doing both of these. I think I said this in a previous video, but I used to do this. I used to put the microcosmic orbit on and just let the whole thing play. But while it was getting to that 13-minute mark, I was able to do my whole elemental grade. So that means I started off Kabbalistic cross, called the Watchers, to my circle, the elements and the elementals. And then I would, that's after making the circle, and then I'd fucking do the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, the middle pillar, the greater ritual of the hexagram, watchtower, and then lesser banishing of the pentagram once again, whatever magic I wanted to do, and then send away the fucking elements, elementals, Kabbalistic cross, and then I wouldn't close my circle yet, but you know, at that point it would be only, not every time, sometimes it would already be starting. For the most part, I could get that all knocked out in my head, visualized, all done, me on my altar, before the microcosmic orbit happens. So it's almost like I channel this energy down, microcosmic orbit, into my body, not storing it in my Dan Ansian, but store that external energy. And now this is the natural energy we have that's always around us. Now where it comes from, I don't know. Is part of prana, what's that magical substance that's in the air we breathe? I don't know. What I do know is once you start doing this, you're gonna notice it. You know, like I can work all day and have the most energy out of everybody, and I'm actually like the oldest guy on the site most of the time. Even my boss is only like 27 years old, and I stand on my feet all day. You know, I just worked 10 hours, drove an hour there in the morning, drove an hour back. So it's 12 hours. I'm doing this every single day outside in the cold. Today wasn't too bad, but we had minus 20 days. And I'm fine. I got the energy. I mean, I'm not going to say like I can run a marathon right now, but I've got tons of energy. And it's because I know how to utilize the energy that's already here. That somehow someone realized these meridian points, there's energy flowing through it. Read the books and you'll come to realize. I'm not going to explain that right now because it's like, it would be a lot of conjecture and me filling blanks and not really knowing how they came up with that. But from what I read, I can kind of, speculate on it. But the point is, this energy is flowing around you. And even for the people that don't know this, it's going into their mouth and then back the same way it just came. And then it comes back around. It's trying to connect that circuit, right? It's trying to connect the circuit. First, it tries to do it this way, which would be counterclockwise. Yeah, it tries to go counterclockwise, kind of like the way the sun and the moon go. No, they go clockwise, I guess. I don't know, anyways. And then once it can't do that, it comes back down and it goes back up. It's not going to go up and back down. It's this energy. It's flowing one way. It comes around, trying to connect to these points, gets trapped in your mouth, comes back down, and it goes back the same way it just came. Comes up, comes down in, goes back the same way it came, like the yin yang. This is why people are, good, bad, whatever you want. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that, but by connecting that and then visualizing it and using your conscious mind, if you will, but you're kind of like in a relaxed state. So you're more in a trance almost. That's the whole point of the visualizations or the meditation state that hypnosis gets you into. Puts you in a trance state. So you're using your conscious mind, but in like a subconscious trance way. And that's what you do. That's one of the main things you do as a magician, is to practice putting your consciousness to an otherwise unconscious state, so that if we do die and it's the unconscious or the soul and we have to navigate that thing, well, if it's like a dream is you're unconscious, you can't control it, things just happen to you. Well, I can take control of my dreams now, not for very long, but I can. And it's because I practice. Everything happens with practice. So if when I die, my soul has to go somewhere. And this is why souls get reincarnated, because they can't navigate. Well, if I know how to navigate, then maybe there's somewhere else I can navigate too. I mean, these are unanswered questions and they'll never be answered. But nonetheless, people have been magicians, ceremonial magic. This is one of the main focuses of that. Is if that's what happens, well, we're going to know what to do. Not only that, if you can take control of your dreams and do the astral travels, and astral travels like the highest one, but lucid dream, and then what's the other one? Outer body experience, and then lucid dream. You can do these things, and then you work your way up. You know what I mean? And this is kind of what you're practicing for. But nonetheless, it's kind of like that state. This is one of those things that are going to help you be able to do those things. And not only that, is you're going to know how to control that energy around your body. And you can see this energy when you're in dreams and stuff like that. Like if you're looking for it. When I take control of my dream, I've only been able to do it a few times where you can actually do a ritual. Like, fuck it, I'm going to do a ritual. And when you do it, it's powerful. And you see the energy, because all this shit I do consciously gets into my subconscious mind. That's the point. Ritual magic, symbolic language to speak to my subconscious. All the garb, all the candles, the incense, the fucking wands, the fucking athames, all the little sigils, the pillars, everything. That's the language to speak to my subconscious mind. Someone figured that out a long time ago. So that's what I do. When you're in a dream and you do that, my God, the subconscious mind is how you know you got it in your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind, my temple room is like a fucking cathedral. It's all my stuff. I go in my little room, it's like, boom, 2 big pillars. My subconscious mind, someone figured that out a long time ago. So that's what I do. When you're in a dream and you do that, my God, the subconscious mind is how you know you got it in your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind, my temple room is like a fucking cathedral. It's all my stuff. I go in my little room, it's like, boom, 2 big pillars, everything is just amazing. So, and then I see the energy, you know what I mean? When I actually do my circle, it's like, as soon as I do the Kabbalistic cross, I'm in the cosmos. I'm in space. I'm huge. That's what you're supposed to visualize. So I know I got it in my head. Not only that, when I do my pentagrams, it's like fucking brilliant. Blue, gold, light sometimes, depending. When I do the microcosmic orbit, when I do the middle pillar, it's like a big, such a bright light. I can't even explain it with the words I got coming through me. You know what I mean? I feel it. And I even see my feet on the earth somehow, even though I'm in space. Like, but my subconscious got it. It's in there. It's embedded in me. And now I have that link to get into my subconscious mind. This is why I can manifest things, because I have that direct link. I have that direct link to my subconscious mind, that reality maker, let's say, that controls my reality. Now, I don't control my reality, but I have now the language and the communication and the ability to put an idea or a suggestion into my subconscious mind to play out. So it's like, yeah, everything's going great, but I kind of need a little extra money just to cover some of these bills. Perfect, got it. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Oh, I kind of need to heal, blah, blah, blah. Got it. So, all that's to say is, this is one of the things I did that really helped it. It really amplified it. So if you can do this in coordination with what you're already doing, great. But don't stop doing it in practice and start this one, okay? Because that's not something I want to promote. Anyways, that's it for me for today. This is not going to be called, it might be called Healing Magic. I might do Healing Magic. I think the last one was number 3. I fucked up. I did 3 even though I never wrote a 2. So now this is 3. So this one might be 4. But it's just Microcosmic Orbit. Healing Magic Microcosmic Orbit 4 is when I title it. You already know what the title is because you clicked on it. But anyways, so all the other Microcosmic Orbits, the last, I think it's like 28 or 32 minutes or something like that. It's going to be the Microcosmic Orbit. So going forward, you don't have to watch any more of this. If I figure out how to do the timestamp thing, I'll do it for you. And this way you can go right to it. I'll do the beginning of the Cosmic Orbit, and at the 13-minute mark that I talk about, I'm going to try to do those 2 timestamps. But I might not be able to, and it might not be for a while. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have yourself a great fucking day.
Microcosmic orbit is what we're going to be talking about now. We start off with the concept of the human being. You may recognize this creature. It has feet, it has a nose, an eye, a mouth, with a tongue, and it also has various energy channels, meridian lines that run through the whole thing. The 2 ones that we're interested in today, the one that runs up the back, this is called the governing vessel, or the dew meridian. It runs from the base of the being all the way up, and then it goes internally down through the front of the spine. And there, back at the base of the being, it flows into the red meridian, otherwise known as the conception vessel. And the red meridian flows up the front of the body to the root of the tongue, and then it goes internally and flows down inside the front of the spine. And there it goes into the meridian at the back. So drawing this in a more diagrammatic form, what you see is this. Up the back, internally, up the front, internally. So you've got this, it's almost like an infinity sign. And this is what's happening in the normal course of life, without us doing anything to change it or to interfere with it or to moderate it in any way. However, when we want to generate extra energy, we then use what's called the microcosmic orbit, or the small heavenly cycle. By connecting the tongue with the roof of the mouth, we cut out the middle flow. So what happens then is this. The energy that flows up through the back channel instead of going down the inside of the front, by the connection of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, it flows into the front channel. And it reverses the flow of chi, the energy in that So instead of the front tunnel flowing up, it's now flowing down. And instead of going in this figure of 8, it's going in a circuit. And it's that circuit, that circulation, that orbit that's called the small heavenly cycle, and which we know as the microcosmic orbit. Now, as it flows through this orbit, it passes through a number of points, chakras, energy centers, points on the meridians, from the base through the sacrum, the door of life, T11, the 11th thoracic vertebrae, T5, the 5th thoracic vertebrae, up to C7, the 7th cervical vertebrae, up to the occiput, the J pillar, through the crown, the mid-eyebrow, and then down the front, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the navel, the sexual center, back down to the base of the being, the perineum. Now, these are not just little pinpoints in the energetic circuits of the body. They're great whirling vortexes of energy. And this begins the energy grid, the energy network, which feeds the meridians, which feeds the organs, which enables us to use the same amount of energy in a more efficient and more effective way for better health, a longer life. I'd like for you to relax and examine the points along with the numbers 1 through 14.
God.
I'd like for you to relax and examine the points along with the numbers 1 through 14. Follow the circuit that is being created by the points and numbers right now. Just seeing this diagram will help you during this exercise. Perhaps speaking aloud or with your inner voice, you can ask your unconscious mind to remember and recall this diagram at a later state for you. Now, let's begin. Please ensure that you are in a comfortable position so that you can relax and be most comfortable with your arms, hands, and legs uncrossed. And if your feet are on the floor, ensure that they are flat. And if at any stage you wish to emerge from hypnosis before the session comes to an end, all you need to do is count from 1 to 5 and open your eyes. You can either count out loud or to yourself. Each time on 5, you completely emerge from hypnosis. So right now, take a nice, slow, deep breath in. That's it. And gently hold it for a moment or two. And then, when you are ready, exhale
carefully intended instructions even when you try to open them. And that's okay to you, because it takes you deeper. Notice that you do not have to achieve relaxation. For your just be aware of your breath. Be aware of the parts of your body that move as you breathe. Aware of the temperature of the air that you breathe. Each time feel each breath, your relaxation body from your head to your toes. As your chest rises and falls, allow your subconscious mind to take over the rhythm of your breath, almost as if you're watching yourself breathing. As we continue, I'd like to ask your as you breathe, which I know you can imagine your breath going deeper and deeper down for you. And when I say a deeper breath, I don't necessarily mean a bigger breath or a larger breath. It simply means a breath that goes deeper, a breath that relaxes you more and more, so that maybe you can imagine our breath reaching to the tips of your fingers and your toes. And as you find a level of breathing that is right for you now, maybe it's the same level of breathing as you've chosen before, when you've allowed yourself to relax. And allow yourself to concentrate on your right hand right now. So still and comfortable in that position right there. Become aware of how heavy or light it feels, or perhaps somewhere in between, whether it feels warm or cool, or somewhere in between, whether it feels perfectly still, or even the tiniest of movements in your right hand. Just experiencing that right hand right now. And of course, we've left out your left hand. Become aware of how your left hand feels right now. If it feels heavier or lighter, warmer or cooler, or identical. And as the hands of time have ticked past, all there is left for you to notice right now is your breathing. How it has become steadier, maybe slower, and you didn't even think about doing that consciously. It happened. Begin to guide your consciousness, become aware of the sounds that you notice around you, so that with each new sound, or any sound that you else is happening unconsciously right now, that you are consciously thinking about doing that, relax. Perhaps you are noticing the difference in frequency to which you've been swallowing. Maybe noticing a gentle fluttering in your eyelids, or the tiniest of jerky movements in and around your head and neck areas. All things that are happening unconsciously without your conscious mind having to think about doing right now. And in a moment, I'd like to ask your subconscious mind to take you as deep as you can go as I count from 10 to 1, allowing for you to enter deep hypnosis on a number between 1 that I count, that maybe your subconscious mind taking steps down the long staircase. As I count from 10 to 1, your subconscious mind will take you to the deepest point of relaxation that you can go. While I'm counting, each step would allow leading you down states of hypnosis, leading down to the part of you that knows deep levels of relaxation, finding the place moment where you begin walking down the steps of relaxation in a pace that is conducive with enhancing all physical as well as mental relaxation. As you step down each step, you may count the steps to yourself, one at a time, exhaling as you take each step. Or you can just enjoy yourself, taking the steps of deeper relaxation as you listen to my voice, counting from 10 to 1. Now you are safe and protected, allowing each muscle's nerves in your body to images, having any letting go, so calm, so deeply relaxed. 9. Relaxing mind and body together, wonderfully comfortable, each step taking you deeper. 8. Starting perhaps to notice that gentle connection between mind and body, letting go with each step. 7. Creating your own kind of heaven, breathing out to track easily, steadily, survive, and at ease. You expect and begin to anticipate flowing through your body, letting go slowly, comfortably, calmly, way down. 5. And with each outward breath, saying the word calm to yourself, saying the word inwardly to yourself. 4. Feeling the feeling of calm flowing through and within you, permeating all around so that it feels like it is coming from deep inside. Calm, so tranquil. 3. So free to be gently and easily calm, so at peace. 2. Continue to relax and to let go, gently drifting down into peace and harmony of body and mind, deeper and deeper. 1. All the way down to a deeper, healthier level of mind. Now, imagine yourself in a large room, dimly lit by candles slowly burning as the room glows and gently flickers in a warm orange hue. Each step that you take echoes along the walls as you slowly walk to the center of the room. As you come closer to the center of the room, you see the most comfortable chairs in front of you. You find in front of you the most comfortable chair that you've ever seen before. The perfect chair that you know would be just right for you. You know that the moment you sit in this chair, you'll sink right in, sinking right into deep relaxation. Imagine what it's made out of. Go ahead and choose what appeals for you. What do the legs look like? What is it made out of? Is it made from gold, wood, or something different altogether? How about the way it feels on your skin? Is it cold and silky, or warm and soft, or something in between? However you see or sense this chair to be, it's just right for you. When you are ready, go ahead and sit on the comfortable seat. Perhaps you already find yourself sitting in it, and that's okay. And as you sit in the chair, you notice how wonderful it feels to sink right in. Notice how your breath, and as you continue to sink as you slow comfortable chair, rhythmically, like takes you deeper and deeper into a calm state of relaxation. And the calmer you feel, the more your eyes begin to get heavier and heavier. So heavy that you just allow yourself to close your eyes. In a moment or two, I would like to ask your unconscious mind to begin noticing the subtle sensations. And as you begin your body, notice the subtle sensation in your body, your area unconscious mind calls the diagram you saw immediately. Allow for your conscious mind to focus right there on the area just below creating from numbers 1 through 14 in the body. The center between your hips, right below your navel, is a lower dantian. You call the lower dantian. How does it feel? 1. Does it feel tense or relaxed, or somewhere in between? Notice all the sensations that is radiating from your lower dantian. Perhaps even the most subtle of sensations. Does it feel tense or relaxed, or somewhere in between? Any sensation you feel is right somewhere in between. Expansive or contracting, or somewhere in between. Maybe you may begin to notice a slight tingling sensation or a pulsing sensation as you take each breath. The more you focus, amplifies and amplifies the sensation grows from your lower dantian expands. Perhaps you may sense the sound of your ki as it spirals around you and spiraling lower dantian. Be aware you may of the direction that it has a certain color as it's spiraling towards you. May even find that you are perhaps to the right and move your ki. Allow for spinning your ki right there to spiral around in your lower. And as you begin to guide and in a moment, I'd like for you to take your hand to go and grasp your ki. Spin it in the direction that it is allowing ready for the spinning of your ki to go ahead and imagine it now. And as you spin it, notice that you're doubling the speed. Brighter and bright sensation as you amplify and magnify each time you spin it around. Go ahead and spin it again. That's right. And in a moment, I'd like for your unconscious mind to be aware of your sexual organs. Ovaries for the sexual testicles for number. This is the sexual center number 2. And when I say now, guide and move the spiraling ki down to the sexual center, creating a feel your ki flowing and coursing down to your sexual center, creating a strong and radiant link between your lower dantian and your sexual organs. And as you feel the ki from your lower dantian flowing down to your sexual organs, to become aware of the area down at the base of your groin. This is called the perineum. We will come back as you guide your ki from the lower dantian down to the sexual center and down to the perineum. Guide and allow for your ki to continue flowing down to your mind and down the middle way to the soles of your feet. This is the center in which you absorb energy from the earth. Remember how comforting and good it is. Such a nice feeling when you're so calm and relaxing as your ki flows from your lower dantian down to the soles of your feet. And when you are ready, continue moving and guiding your ki, drawing energy from the soles of your feet, slowly at first, back up to your legs, to the perineum. And this time, be aware of the area just below the base of the spine, your sacral center, the sacrum. You may feel, as you guide your ki into the base of your spine, the effects of guiding something, moving your ki, perhaps in a surge of energy or a tingling sensation. You notice beginning to rise from the base of your spine energy center. You may feel a slight twitch in your body. That's okay. That area. Continue drawing up along the spine to the point opposite to your navel, the dorsal side, and up along the base of your skull, the jade pillar. Continue drawing this energy up to the top of your head, the crown. Number 9. Now move this energy from the top of your head, the crown, down to the middle of your eyebrows, the third eye. 10. You may notice for a moment that as your ki spirals and swirls, perhaps allow your ki to gently soothe and massage your third eye, and noticing that each time you exhale, the spiraling ki grows stronger and faster. And as it spirals faster and stronger, it allows for more clarity of perception and thought, becoming brighter and brighter, allowing it to linger there for a moment or two. And as you guide your ki to take its time to soothe and rejuvenate your third eye, I'd like for you to take notice of the tip of your tongue. And when you're ready, raise and touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. That's right. Touch and release. Again, touch and release. Good. Then lightly touch the roof of your mouth and gently leave it there, so still and comfortable. That's right. You may begin to notice, sense, and or feel an electric or tingling feeling on the tip of your tongue. As you keep your tongue there, gently touching the roof of your mouth. And now, as you allow for your ki to soothe and massage your third eye, guide your ki from the third eye to the tip of your tongue, where it is meeting with the roof of your mouth. Continue moving your ki down from the tips of your tongue, down to the middle of your throat center, opening, clearing, and energizing your throat center towards your heart, your heart center, allowing it to swirl, energize your heart center. Continue guiding your circuit of ki just a little further, right below your chest, and just right above the stomach, your solar plexus, right in the center where it indents. That's right. Allowing the energy to spiral and radiate. You know that your ki works in wonderful ways, healing and rejuvenating your body, mind, and spirit. And as you allow for your ki to linger there, right there in the center, radiating and spiraling, feel and sense there a small, bright, radiant sun shining out as you feel its warm, radiating, penetrating and pulsating all throughout your body. Your entire body becomes brighter and more vibrant. That's good. Now, when you are ready, bring your ki, your energy from the center of your chest back down right below your navel, your lower dantian. That's right. Now that you have connected the circuit flowing ki around your entire body, going through and passing through each sacred center, I'm going to help you open the pathways even more and allow for this energy to continuously flow like a river in a circular motion without having to stop. In a continuous flow of energy circulating throughout your body. And allow for your unconscious mind to guide you through the previous points that you went through as your unconscious mind. When you are ready, move again from the lower dantian as you allow down to the sexual center, guide you through each sacred point into the perineum, down the legs into the soles of your feet, back up to the perineum, 5, then to the point below your spine, the sacrum, 6, up along to the middle of your spine, the door of life, 7, continuing up along the spine to the base of your skull, from the base of your skull up to the top of your head, the crown, 9, down to the third eye, lightly touching the tip of your tongue to the plate of your mouth. Your energy moving from the third eye down to the tip of your tongue, 11, down to the throat, 12, and to your heart, 13, and just a little further to your solar plexus, and then down back to your lower dantian, 1, from your lower dantian down to the sexual center, 2, to the perineum, 3, down to your leg, to the soles of your feet, 4, then back again to the perineum, 5, and then to the point below your spine, 6, the sacrum, up along your spine to the midpoint of right spine, the door of life, continuing upwards to the base of your skull, up to the crown, 9, and down to the third eye, 10, moving the energy down from the third eye to the tip of your tongue, 11, down to the throat, 12, to the heart, 13, down to the solar plexus and back to your lower dantian. Just imagine again, flow of qi, lower dantian around you to the sexual center, around through each center perineum. Just know that it is down to the legs, to the soles of your feet. Back each time towards the perineum and towards the sacrum, up along the spine to the base of your skull, up towards the crown and down to your third eye, to the tip of your tongue, down to your throat, continuing down to the heart center and to the solar plexus and back to the lower dantian, to the sexual center, to the perineum, down to the legs, to the soles of your feet, back up towards the perineum and towards the sacrum, up along the spine to the base of your skull, up towards the crown and down to your third eye, to the tip of your tongue, down to your throat, continuing down to the heart center and to the solar plexus and back to the lower dantian. Go ahead and take a moment to go around the cycle of 1 through 14 5 more times, just letting it easily and smoothly pass through each center without having to stop. Each cycle going rhythmically around. Now, first cycle. Second cycle. Third cycle. Fourth cycle. Fifth and final cycle. Now, the pathway of your ki is completely open, not needing to stop at each point. It is flowing continuously like a flowing river. Now, when you are ready, collect the energy at your lower dantian, allowing it to accumulate and grow vibrant and powerful like the sun. Getting ready to cover your navel with both palms. For men, left hand over the right, and for women, right hand over the left. Collect and mentally spin the energy stronger and stronger, faster and faster outwards from the navel, growing larger and larger. Continue spinning this energy more and more as I count 8 cycles to 36. 1 and 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Now, spin it in the opposite direction as I count from 1 to 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. Feel the spiraling energy growing stronger and stronger, brighter and brighter. Now, take a deep breath in and exhale slowly, feeling the energy spiraling in your navel, coursing throughout your entire body like a flowing river of light. And as you bask and feel this amazing sensation of feeling so good and radiant, slightly raise the corners of your mouth and smile. You've already noticed that you have been smiling. And bring that smile down to your livers. You've already heard about this practice. Down to the stomach and this practice of your organs smiling. Also, you take your time to thank your unconscious mind. You can either say thank you aloud or imagine yourself embracing your unconscious self as if it were a person or a creature. This is all part of nurturing a relationship with your unconscious self, a relationship with yourself. Now, you will remember all the steps which you took in this session. Even when you are awake, entire body, you will continuously and unconsciously, maybe even while you are sleeping, you will consciously and unconsciously remember how to recharge yourself through moving and guiding your ki from your dantian and through the 14 sacred centers which permeate all throughout your entire body, energizing you from head to toe. Next time, now, as I count from 1 to 5, you will awake feeling refreshed and energized, and keeping within you all that you've learned and become better, benefiting you every day, in every way for your highest good, whether you are awake or sleeping. As your state of relaxation now, when in a moment, when I count to 5, this exercise becomes control, flexibility, and coordination throughout your entire body, from the tips of your toes, integrates new learnings, that is, to the tips of your fingers and your mind and your spirit, as it illuminates you from the lightness, and your heaviness return to the truth and magnifying, getting better, putting back all bodily sensations as they should be. 1. Position yourself back from hypnosis, remembering and recalling what was left, right and above, and below you, remembering and recalling the features of this place. 2. All sounds are back to their correct perspective and back to their correct importance. 3. You're keeping and bringing with you all the wonderful benefits of this session, all the good things during the hypnosis session you incorporate and integrate into your life. All the intended benefits and desired outcomes of the session are surely sealed in, as they are kept and integrated into your unconscious mind. 4. And finally, when I count to 5, you open your eyes fully refreshed and energized from the session and out of hypnosis. 5. Eyes open, awake, feeling fully refreshed and energized.